everybody. Good to see you again. Welcome back to another episode of Michael in the Backyard. I don't want to date this video, but it is wintertime. And I kid you not, you can see the paths I had to clear. And I actually snow blowed this whole area. Because Mercury, how you doing, buddy? You loving it out here, ain't you? Because I want to be able to get that Jeep in here before too long. Took a lot of extra snow blowing, but I thought if I don't get that cleared out, because we got a foot of snow, and then we get supposed to get another 3 inches tonight, and then Friday another 6 to 12. Like, I better get this cleared out, otherwise I'm not going to get this vehicle out of here, and I'm sure as heck not going to be able to get the Jeep in here to fix it. So this episode, we're going to change the spark plugs on the 2015 GMC Terrain. And as you can see, it's still rather dusty. This stuff here, I don't know. I'm going to have to do a little scrubbing. I'll make it look a little better than it is eventually, but let's get the maintenance all done on it. So what have we done so far to this since we've had it? I've done a video on the VVT, variable valve timing solenoids, and I've done the transmission fluid change, and I've got to do spark plugs. Still got to get an air filter. We have changed the oil. Didn't bother wasting you guys' time showing you exactly how to change the oil. I think if you want a video like that, let me know, but there's thousands of videos out there. There's already a lot of videos out there of all this stuff I'm doing, but it's maybe you like watching me do it better. I don't know. So first thing we got to do is, we got to take some stuff back off that we put back on. So let's take how many times am I going to say so in this video? Maybe we start a little drinking game. Every time I say so, take a drink of your favorite beverage. And some of you will be going, I can't do that. By the time I get 4 minutes in, I'm going to suffer from alcohol poisoning. All right. First thing I got to do is a clamp here. I've never done plugs on a Jeep Equinox. A GMC Terrain. I don't know how I got that stuck in my head. We got another clamp on the throttle body. We'll back that off. But so far, I did take it after I did the transmission fluid change. I took it for a 50-mile drive and shifts perfectly, does everything it's supposed to do. There we go. Pull this. Got this tube on the side over here we need to pop off for sure. There we go. Pop this off. And it's got two grommets back here that you gotta give it a little oomph. There we go. That's off. Now, as we've done one other time, we'll take this off so we can pop this off. A little yank in the back here somewhere near this area, and then this corner, give it another good upwards. And there's one more up here. Yep. And then that's out of our way. So pretty quick to get this all out of your way. Honestly, I think they put these covers over these engines to make them. We'll put this back on to keep the stuff from getting down in there. Now, what we got to go after here, I'm going to get you up close. See if we can get a little better light in here, too. Sure, I can. So what we're going to do here, pretty sure that's 10 millimeter. For these are your coil packs, more or less. Your sparks come through this guy right here. We got to disconnect the wiring here, here, and here. And we'll be ready to... That light's going to be harsh for you there. Let's not do that. Now I'm thinking, I can't remember, you just pop these out a little bit. Yeah, these slide out to there, which allows you to push down. Yeah. So if you take and slide this little clip out, it's got a little stop there, then it allows you to take this tab and push down right there, and you just slide that right off. I'm going to get you in real tight on this one so you can watch me do it so you don't break them. It's important not to break these. So right here, I'm just taking my little screwdriver and going right in between here, and then we'll slide that back. And right there, you can see that little thing stops this from coming all the way off. Once you do that, you can pinch down on here and just give that a little wiggle, and they come right off. That way you don't break them. And we'll go ahead and do this one. So there, we got that harness loose. And this is tied to the same harness that's over here, but we don't have to worry about that. Now we're going to take our air and blast this all clean because we don't want anything falling down in there unnecessarily. Not a lot of loose stuff in there since I just blew this out when I replaced these guys. Now, I highly recommend not to use one of these if you're not comfortable with it. Make sure you're in reverse. If you're not in reverse, you can really wreck things. I'm going to go ahead and pull these all the way out. Don't know if it's necessary, but I'm going to do it anyway. Set those in a safe spot. Then I'm going to wiggle these around, give them a little twisty twist, and boy, they come right off there really nice. There's one. Yeah. 2. 3. Well, that sealed it off real nice and clean down there. Nice and dry. Everything come apart real well. I'm tickled with that. Now we got our 5/8 socket, spark plug socket here. We'll give this a little snug. Just be careful. Like what I'm doing here, don't just push when you're doing this. When you got an extension on here, support it here very well. And whatever pressure you're putting this way, pull this way to keep that thing as straight as possible. Now some of you newbies that have never done something like this before, you can get yourself in trouble by just pulling on it and you'll break that sucker off down in there. And now you got a bigger job to do. And trust me, you won't enjoy it. Now this should have the iridium plugs in there. And let's take it. I'm kind of curious to see what they look like. If I had to venture a guess, if these aren't original, I would be surprised. 133,000 miles. These will go 133,000 miles all day long. Oh, I don't have my rubber piece in this one. You need to have the rubber piece in there to kind of like get on it. I don't know. It doesn't look awful, but we'll compare it to a brand new one in just a minute here. Let go. Yeah, these have been in a while. Look how dark that is around there. And the only reason I noticed that this thing probably could use new plugs is because when I fired it up when it was cold, let's set that right there, that it fires up just fine. And it seems to run fine. But when it's idling, fast idle, and then slows down, you can hear it in the exhaust, mostly. That's why you always go back by your exhaust. If you hear a little boom, 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 then you know you got a misfire happening. May not misfire like a dead cylinder, but if you hear it, if this isn't just smooth sound coming out of there, you've got something wrong. So far, so good. And I will be putting a little never sees back on these threads. These are coming out, which is great. But if that little never sees, they'd come out just a little smoother. it was for sure time. Like I said, I went 124,000 miles on my Impala, and they had the iridium plugs. They're again another GM product, and they look good. They still look good. They actually look better than these do. But for a 4-cylinder to do the same amount of miles or thereabouts, these 4 cylinders have hit a little more often than the 6-cylinder has. So it has thrown sparks a few more times. I'm going to venture a guess to be about 33% more. I just want to keep this a little more real time on this part, just so you guys see. You know, most of you already know. Those of you that's been around that watched my last video, you know, the age range on the YouTube analytics says 45 and up. Basically, the GMC Terrain and the dealership thing, nobody under the age of 45 has watched this video. Or that video. The dealership ripoff or not video on this thing. And thanks to everybody for watching my videos. I appreciate it. I'm going to say that out loud now. Yeah, these are all tired for sure. Now the good news is none of these really have any oil sitting around down here, which would be a problem. That'd mean your valve cover gasket's leaking. I'm not sure how well this will come out. This is 3 of the old ones here. Cylinder number 2, 3, and 4. That is, if that's the numbers from left to right. And then over here we got all the new ones. You can see the comparison here, how dark and burnt these are. You know, it's burning a nice tan color on the porcelain piece there. And looking at we'll check the gap here in a minute. Now, I'm pretty sure I read that these will come pre-gapped, and you know, you shouldn't have to adjust them or do anything like that. And they're pre-gapped at 32. This one's perfect at 32, brand new. It still doesn't hurt to check to make sure one didn't get closed up or opened up, or, you know, just got, let's just call it worse because of shipping and handling. You don't have to be around too long to see that shipping and handling isn't always careful. The rest of them are at 32. Now, what's this old one going to check out at? 35 flaws through there. Boy, it's right between 35 and 40. So a little bit of wear, but not excessive. That's why it was still starting and running fine. Still had that little miss, and that's all it was. Now, that could be in the plugs. Could it be in the coil pack starting to go? I don't know, but I'll be able to know once I start it up with the new plugs in if that miss is like gone. All right, these can all go into my scrap. I was just reading my anti-seize here. I've got this Permatex anti-seize lubricant. You guys see me use this 100 times. And I was just looking at the range. It's supposed to be able to handle minus 65 degrees Fahrenheit up to 1600 degrees Fahrenheit, which is for our Canadian brethren and everybody else in the free world or unfree world that uses the metric system. If 55 degrees C to 870 degrees C, negative 55 C. But it says on here, pin brakes on brake assemblies, engine head bolts, spark plug and oxygen sensor threads, exhaust manifold studs, EGR fittings, and starter and alternator bolts. You know, basically everything you don't want to get stuck together after it's been together a while. So you guys see me use this quite a bit. It says to stir it up before you use, because if you have it sitting around a while, you'll see a little bit of oils and stuff surface to the top. Mix it back in. But I had one tub I had around 10 plus years, and finally the brush wouldn't reach it anymore. I almost thought about cutting it open and digging out what was left, but it's like 10 years. It was time to retire the bottle. So we'll put a little bit of this on here. Typically I put it near the end of the thread, and as you screw it in, it works its way up through the rest of the mess, right? One guy left a comment because, you know, they say it never sees, it gets on everything. And one guy left a comment that was tickled me because he goes, I'm pretty sure one bottle of Never Seas could cover the world. And just from a philosophical standpoint, I could not disagree. One bottle can cover the world. I always enjoyed changing spark plugs on the old. Oh, that's way too much. Perfect. Spark plugs on these 4-cylinders. Easy to get at. The inline 6s, most of them are pretty easy to get at. V6s, there's a lot of people that hate changing them on the V6s. And I get it. They're not easy to get at. In the 90s, when I was playing around with my 93 Lumina and my Berettas, I had a bunch of Berettas at one time. I was on a Beretta kick. The V6s and the 4-cylinders. The V6s, I found out if you could get the alternator removed in about 15 minutes. And then that gave you an alternator size hole to stick your hand in to get the rest of them. And some people might think, why would you pull your alternator if you don't have to? Well, because it saved me literally hundreds and hundreds of arm scratches from reaching behind these things and trying to do them. But then on some of the V6s, like my old my Impala I got, you just take the dog bone out front here, put a ratchet strap on the back, and just pull that engine forward, and you can just reach right down in there and get them. That's not true for all V6s, though, at all. Oh, a little Never Seas, and those things just go in so smooth. It's not going to give me my socket back. And don't use an impact to start these. Get them started by hand, and then, I guess, do whatever you want. But, you know, I want to give them the proper torque. Just because this is an aluminum head, and the last thing you want to do is strip the threads out down in a hole like this. They're repairable. It's just not a lot of fun. So, guys, don't be afraid to leave some comments. How often do you change your spark plugs? How many miles? Like I said, these Iridiums, service manuals and all that stuff, you know, 100,000 miles. I'm darn sure these were original. So, you know, we're looking at 133,000, and they weren't awful. Granted, 33,000 miles ago would have been nicer, but not a deal breaker. This will make it nicer. I've got my other ones wore out apparently, because I'll show you. I've got these that have this little locking ball here, and I put this one on, and I can pull it right back on and off. I wonder if I should take that one back because it's a Craftsman. This one's got the locking ball. You put it on. Oop. Hopefully it holds pretty good. That I can pull it back off. Now, 12 to 15 foot-pounds is what the Torquey Torque says it needs to be. Which is 144 to 180. Oh, it didn't hold. Gosh darn it. I thought it would help me. It did not. All right, now that they're all back in, we can go ahead and stick these back in. Now, you can put a little dielectric grease in here if you want. Would suggest it. Just a little bit. Just a little bit around that boot will not hurt a thing. Actually creates even a better seal. The rubber seal that had it on it, that was pretty good. The bolts back in. I start them all by hand. And we'll snap the plug back on and push the keeper back in place. Plug on, keeper. Plug on, keeper. There we go. Job's done. Now we'll go back in here and we'll properly torque these. I just brought them down kind of snug with this. All right, I went in and I scrubbed these up a little bit just to make them look a little more presentable. Get back underneath that tubey tube there. There we go, getting closer. There we go. Oh yeah. Beauty, Clark. Now it looks like somebody cares about you. Oh yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this off. Not yet. I'll pull it up to do the air filter. Not yet. I don't have the air filter yet. I gotta go get one. Let's put this back together. It's back over there. Oh yeah. Yeah. Booyah. Well, it looks a lot better, don't it? And we're tightening up those screws and we're done. In case you're wondering, these are 5/16 heads. Screwdriver's nice. Nut driver's even nicer. Turn the heater off and then we'll listen to her start up. Now I'm gonna put you guys right down here, right here with the sound. Right here. Can you see me? You see, you're right here. Let's fire it up and see if she sounds a little better. Now the muffler still sounds like crap. I'll warn you there. I got you down here by the muffler. And I could, before I could hear this pa pa pa, just a she's very, very steady now. Oh, so much better. Say he's gonna have 150 more horsepower. Nope. Not even close. Why is this loose? Should it be loose? What's going on? Huh, interesting. It's like it should clamp in place. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Should be snapped over this. Like that. Wonder why that was loose. Definitely running a lot smoother now. It's definitely due for spark plugs. I'll turn it off before I asphyxiate myself. Well, I think that's not only a done job, but it's a job well done. You know, all those fancy words. Well, folks, I hope you found this informative and helpful. It's that easy to change the spark plugs on a 2015 GMC Terrain. And probably any of the other GMC products from 2010 to 2020 that have 4-cylinder engines. They've been using these iridium plugs. I've seen a lot of the parts that I've been buying have that kind of range to it. But yeah, that's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. And as you can see, runs very well now. And plus we cleaned up those parts. Oh, and then I touched them with my dirty hands. That's what happens. That's what happens. That's why I can't have nice things. Oh, now that it got it all shiny and clean, makes you want to keep it that way. Just got to get there once, and then you might maintain it. Maybe, maybe not. Oh, but yeah, there's a lot of things on here that haven't been touched since 2015. Serpentine belt, might have to take a look at that. But, well, that's all this video is about, folks. I appreciate you coming along for the ride. We've got some more videos to do on this thing yet. I've got a muffler to put on. I've got TPMS sensors to put in. But I'm thinking it's better to have all these as separate videos so people want to look up TPS sensor fix or transmission or VVT P10010 code or muffler, how to put a new muffler on. Just breaking it up. Shorter videos, plenty of information, very information specific. So when people are looking up, I want to change my oil, I want to change my this, I want to change that, they do search for that and that's all they get. A lot of my videos, I'm doing a variety of stuff in them. But the car videos, I kind of like to, you know, get in there and maybe share a little bit of stuff with you that's on the rest of my channel that might encourage other people to come along for the ride and watch the other stuff that I do as well. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this with your buddies. Let's get some more people watching. Let's get the subscribership up. Let's keep this channel growing and going so I can keep bringing you more content. Make it so that YouTube can actually kind of help me earn a little bit of money. So it helps me afford to do projects like this for you guys and keep them coming and keep you entertained. Well, this is Michael saying, if it ain't broke, fix it till it is. And we'll see you on the next video. And be kind to one another out there and treat each other fair. Especially you mechanics. You know which ones I'm talking about. Treat people right. Thank you and goodbye.